Okay, so let's get started on our rocking chair. First item up for bid is lumber selection. So this is walnut that I purchased yesterday and a piece of ash, which we'll get into later. I was able to purchase some really nice pieces, actually, of 8-quarter rough sawn, plain sawn material. And I got lucky and got a brand new bundle, so it had some wide pieces in it, which is also beneficial. Regardless, one of the things we need to pay attention to is thickness. So these are rough sawn, so they're about 2¼ inch thick. If you buy any that has already been surfaced, say the face has been surfaced on one side or two, the key thing to keep in mind is the thickness. We've got to have a minimum of 2 inches of thickness. Milled, oftentimes it's going to be about 1 7/8 inches. All right. Next thing we need to be aware of is the moisture content, how it's dried. Kiln dried. Some guys, some mills, and you have to be careful of, use a steaming process to help, I guess, stabilize color. You want to kind of stay away from that. What Hal has done on some of his builds is he has purchased slab sawn material. One of his chairs, called the George Washington chair, and you can look that up, was actually a slab, right? And he got all of his pieces out of that. What's nice with that is that you're guaranteed it's all from the same tree. So all the color and the grain, everything is from the same tree, and it really turns out just exquisite. These are not from the same tree. However, they match closely in color, and they're clean. So we've got to be aware of defects, right? How many knots are in it. You need in your selection to build one chair, small, medium, or large. The large chair is going to take between 40 and 45 board feet. All right, what I have here is 55 feet. And of that 40 to 45 board feet, you need 90% of that to be clear. So minimum 2 inches thick, 90% clear, you're in good shape. So be picky, somewhat picky with your selection, because getting into some nasty knots is really going to cause you problems with shape and joinery. Moisture content. Check your moisture content. It's kind of going back to what I was alluding to earlier. We want our moisture content of this material to be between 6 and 10%, really dry. All right, anything above 13 or above, you're going to have problems. So be careful with that. Check it. And if it's not there, and you've bought it, and it's not there, then take whatever steps are necessary to bring that content down before you dive in and start cutting up your stuff. Okay, so let's say you've purchased your material. Everything's good to go. Your moisture content's correct, and you're now ready for layout. Well, here we go. I've already cut out from the paper templates. Cut out all the paper templates, glued them. This is some scrap maple I had in the shop. Glued them and cut them out, and then sanded them perfectly to shape. All right, so I've got my templates. Next is laying out our material, or laying out our forms on our material. I got lucky. This is a 13-inch wide board. This piece is 10 and this is about an 8. Hal provides in his plans the methodology for setting up a 2-board seat, a 3-board seat, and a 4-board seat. Well, if you can get 13 inches wide in your material, that's perfect because it gives you that 2-board seat, right? And what we'll do, we'll lay it out, which I've done here. Here's section 1 and section 2. I'll cut those out and then we'll fold them onto each other, do a glue up, and that will form the seat by itself. Immediately adjacent to the seat is going to be the headrest. Depending on the width of your material, will determine how your headrest billets are going to be laid out. We can do, with a 13 inch, we can do 3 across and 3 across. If you're dealing with narrower material, then we'll lay them out horizontally with the grain and have our 6 billets this way. This piece was 9 feet long, so I was also able to get both of my arm pieces in here. One is laid out to this side, and then I'm going to flip it to this side. So all of this grain between the seat, the headrest, and the arm, it's all out of the same piece of wood, and those are going to be the striking visual patterns that we're going to see in our chair. So I got really lucky here. There are alternate methods. If you're dealing with thinner material, perhaps we need to lay them out this way. And we'll get to that next. All right, so over here to this board, as I was just saying, the ideal layout for our back legs would be one here and one here, side by side, giving us the same grain orientation and the same coloring throughout for both legs. Well, because of my seat, headrest, and arms, I've chosen to use this other board for my back legs, or for all my legs actually. So I have my first one oriented this direction. My material wasn't wide enough to flip, so I flipped this direction end to end. So I've got one back leg out of the same side of the board, gives me the same grain. And then for my front legs, I did the exact same thing. I've got one here, I flipped, gives me my second, and then we'll have our adder as the third piece, all in that same grain. Next, that leaves me on this piece for the back brace billets. That'll come out of here and perhaps here. And then my rocker billets are all coming out of this piece. So that gives me the basic layout. You'll have to work with the material that you have to develop whatever layout pattern is going to work best for you. But this is how I did mine. I've tried it a couple of different ways. I used chalk initially because I can easily erase that if it didn't work, which it did here. I tried it one way, didn't fit, didn't like it, erased it sort of, and redid it. This is the pattern that I have now. Now, as for my ash, I purchased a piece of 8/4 ash because we need for our back brace billets, we need for our back braces, we're going to need quarter sawn ash. Well, you can't buy quarter sawn ash, but you can make it. And if you buy a piece of plain sawn 8/4 ash, let me turn this up. And you cut this ash here where the chalk line is. You will, so my grain is running this direction all the way through the board. If I cut this off right here as a billet, that gives me quarter sawn. Same thing over here on this side. I cut this off as a billet. This is quarter sawn. So I can't buy it, but I can make it. Right on. So there we have it. We have our material purchase, moisture content, and basic layout of our pieces and parts. Hope that helps get you started on your journey. Stay tuned. We'll start cutting these up.